What is going on, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C-Dub, and I'm back with another video. And today, the holidays are right around the corner. With Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas coming, that's a big problem for weight loss. So I got your back right after this. Hey guys, what's going on? If you're new to my channel, my name is C-Dub and I lost 125 pounds eating just one meal a day. And I got an important topic today, but I want to take a second to say if you've never clicked on my channel, I appreciate you joining me and I hope this video is helpful and you become a subscriber. And to all of you people, you weight loss warriors that have been in support of my channel, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for helping me grow this. And I appreciate your continued support. So, in this important topic, we need to discuss because so many of us struggle in this time of year. It's very difficult and hard for all of us once we start getting into that November, December time frame. And I wanted to incorporate Halloween being right around the corner with that. And it kind of puts a lot of pressure on us socially, which definitely doesn't lean to the best weight loss results. And a lot of times we end up getting ourselves into some hairy situations. And I want to try to help you before that gets started. So I decided to bring you 10 tips, 10 things that I can break down that can help you get through. And I'm going to give you one particular tip on each one of the holidays as well. And I might do some more videos later when we get closer to them. But I wanted to get us thinking about it in advance. So let's hop right into the topic today. All right, the very first one that I want to discuss is the fact that you know this is a tough time, and that's not a reason to stop. And I think that that's what we do. We see, okay, well, once Thanksgiving hits and you're like, well, I'm going to blow my diet on Thanksgiving, I'm going to lose out of control, and then the whole month of December is just Christmas, and I'm just eating, and there's cookies, and there's just all kinds of wonderful treats and things around me at all times. So I'll just forget December, and then we'll hit January 1, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution to get back on track. That's not the way to go. You don't want to lose everything you've been working hard for, and if you haven't got started yet, you want to get a jump start on the holidays so that we can make it through there without gaining weight and without getting things done. So I think it's very important to know that I don't want to just stop doing everything just because I started, just because the holidays have started. Number 2 tip here is to plan. To sit down and look at the calendar and know these events are coming and maybe I can cut this event or that event out of it and make it so that it's not overwhelming. You've got to sit down and know these things are happening so you can make adjustments with other tips that I have later so that you can put a package together that you can understand, hey, listen, I may not be on the best situation on this day, but I'm going to fix it because I'm going to have this day and this day. So really take a look at the calendar, really sit down and understand what social events are coming and what you can do. Don't let social events surprise you, and don't be sitting there saying, okay, well, I'll worry about it the day before or the day of and not ahead of time. The further you have planned it out, the better you're going to have to give yourself the opportunity to have success. Number 3 tip. If you can give yourself a fast before or after, you can make up for a bad social event. And what I mean by that is, so you're going to have a day, it's coming around the corner, and you're going to overdo it on that day. Maybe you're going to drop it into a larger window, maybe you're going to eat a lot of things that you feel like you shouldn't, and so you're going to go exponentially higher in calories than you probably should do. Or let's take the word calories out of it, you're going to eat too much food. Common sense, right? So if you're going to eat too much food by fasting the day before or by fasting the day after, you've put yourself into a situation where you're not in a calorie surplus. And a lot of people don't understand that, but calories are not an instant thing. It's calories over a week that matters. So if you're going to overeat on Thursday at Thanksgiving, but you don't eat on Wednesday or you don't eat on Friday, you've put yourself in a situation where overdoing it is no big deal. All right, advice number 4. This one I think is something that a lot of people should just, kind of common sense, but if you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to eat a little bit more often than you want, take it into an 8-hour window instead of a 1-hour window. Expand your window and it's going to be okay. And if for some reason you generally do a 16 and 8 and you have to go, breakfast with somebody, but you don't want to miss dinner with somebody else, you can spread it even out to a whole eating day. understand that that's just not an excuse to snack and go crazy. If you have 2 social events in a day, you should be eating twice. Even if it's breakfast and dinner, don't eat in between the two. And I think that is the key. I think that's what a lot of people miss out on when they're doing intermittent fasting, is they want to eat between their meals. Don't do it. So if you're going to increase your window and you're going to go from OMAD to 2MAD or 2 meals a day, or you're going to go from your general 16 and 8 and you're going to split it down to a 3-meal day, do not snack at all. Cut it out in the middle of them. Eat your 3 and you'll be okay, especially if you use the tip before it and you fast the day before or after. Number 5. I think this tip is a tip that we should always do, but especially in the holidays. And it's going to be drink water right before you eat. Don't sit down with your meal and have nothing in your stomach. I think it's a big mistake. There are a lot of moms out there that say you can't drink your drink until after you've eaten. I know you guys have heard that. A lot of moms will do that and say, no, you're not allowed to touch your drink. I have a friend that actually is still to this day drink his drink until after he's eaten his meal. It's the opposite we want to do here. We want to put the water in our stomach first so that we fill up a little bit on water before we overeat. And a lot of us are really good about it, but some of us are not. So if you can drink a glass of water or 2 before you sit down for this big social meal, you're going to eat less food, and at the end of the day, you're going to feel better because of that. Number 6, if you slip, don't beat yourself up. If you slip, don't use it as an excuse to make things worse. Sometimes over the holidays, something's going to happen. Maybe one of your friends, is pulling fresh cookies out and it's not in your window, and you show up and they put a little pressure on you and you really want the cookie and you just talk yourself into it and you do it. You can't go the rest of the day beating yourself up. You're going to make a mistake. Things are going to happen. You can't use it as an excuse to make more mistakes. You can't use it as an excuse to say, you know what, my life is just terrible and I'm an awful human being and I'm going to just eat now for the rest of this holiday. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. But be the person that understands that I'm going to make a mistake. It's going to happen. And if it does, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. But on the other side, and if I make it through mistake-free, great. That's amazing. I did a good job. But I'm not going to totally wreck myself because of that one mistake. All right, for 7, 8, and 9, I'm going to break each one of them up into each holiday and give you a tip. So, for the first one is Halloween, number 7, right? And the number 7 tip for Halloween is to try to give out healthy treats. And that's that way for a dual reason. Number 1, the children of today are more obese than they've ever been in the history of the world, and they're on a terrible path anyway, so it won't hurt you to give them something healthy. But on the other side, you won't be tempted to give out. If you're giving out something healthy, you won't be tempted to eat it. And that is huge. So, if you're sitting there with a bowl of Snickers and Snickers is your favorite candy bar, probably going to snack on them that night. And if you're out with your kids and you're doing that, it's a little different. But make sure that no matter what your situation is, you try not to put yourself around just bowls of bad candy. And then if your kids are trick-or-treating and you know that they're going to come home with some things that you want, or you didn't listen to my advice and you bought some things that you want to hand out that aren't the best, take 2 or 3 pieces of candy out, 1, 2, or 3, I guess, and put them aside and have them with your meal. Take your favorite things, eat them at the end of the meal so that if you filled up on good, nutritious food first, and then if you have to have a Snickers bar or a Butterfinger or whatever it is, go ahead and have it. Just don't go crazy with it, and try to remember that the fun size bars are much better. They still give you what you wanted, that little taste, but it's not as many calories packed into like a king size Snickers. Stay away from that. And if you do that on Halloween Day, I think you're going to be golden. Number 8, Thanksgiving Day. Some people would say the best holiday of the year. You get together with your family, you get to eat, it's just wonderful good food, and such a good time, at least in my life. I have nothing but good memories of Thanksgiving and going to my granddad's house and watching football and having the whole family over and eating and going out in the yard and playing football and just all the fun stuff that we did growing up. And now my family comes to my house from all over the Virginia, and we all eat here. And it's such a good, wonderful holiday. But it's obviously based around the sole purpose of food. So make sure that when we're going into this, that you're not going too absolute crazy. And the first thing I would say is make sure you eat your protein first. Eat the turkey. Don't go to the stuff you know you shouldn't have, like the gravies and the stuffings and all of that first. Doesn't mean you can't have a little bit of potatoes, gravy, and stuffing, but put some good solid amount of turkey, maybe even more than you normally would eat, and eat the turkey first, because turkey is real strong, solid protein that's going to fill your belly up. It's going to make you feel less need to eat more, and then if you eat a little bit of everything else, you're going to fill up super quick because you have a good base of turkey and that solid protein. Protein always lasts longer and makes you feel better than either one of the other micronutrients. And then after you've done that, if you absolutely are going to eat that piece of cheesecake or that dessert, the pie or whatever you're going to do, make sure you eat it at the very end so that you already are filled up with the other stuff. Don't spread Thanksgiving out into an all-day eating affair. Have the big meal with your family, but don't go crazy. And Thanksgiving will be okay. And then if you absolutely lose all self-control on Thanksgiving Day, just remember it's one day. If you do the right thing on the other 364, you're still going to be losing weight. You're still going to get things done. And if you take my other tips like drinking water beforehand and fasting the day before and after, you're really going to be golden through Thanksgiving. Number 9, and this is dealing with Christmas. And Christmas is the holiday, right? I mean, whether and if it's not Christmas, whichever holiday, most everybody does some kind of celebrating during the month of December. And these celebrations can go on for weeks, and that's the first key. To understand that just because it's Christmas doesn't mean you're going to give yourself a pass to eat for 14 days, whatever the world you want. Sure, there maybe on Christmas Day you go a little crazy, or sure, maybe on Christmas Eve you have this big gathering, but you don't want to make it an entire 14-day, love fest with food. You want to try your best to avoid the sugars and the sweets, and if you do eat them in your one meal after you've celebrated with your family. And then the pre-planning is key for Christmas, because you got to know, if I'm going to overdo it on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, maybe on the 23rd I should be fasting, and maybe on the 26th I should be fasting. I should put myself into a situation where I am going to not overdo it to the highest level, and know that the social events, maybe it's not the best idea to plan on the 23rd and the 26th. Maybe you can do one on the 22nd and the 20th and fast on the 21st. And if you're planning it like that and you're really looking at your calendar, you're going to get through Christmas and it's going to be okay. Just remember that it's okay to do a little bit more than you normally would, but it's not a pass to just do whatever you wanted. And that brings me to the 10th thing, and it's the last thing that I really want to say, is that remember that it's okay to enjoy these things, that it's okay to eat. It's okay to maybe miss normally what you would have on your diet and shift a little bit off of what you would normally do. It's okay to be social and eat, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think in fasting sometimes we get like holier than thou attitude about who we are, as opposed to the people around us that don't do what we do, and we want to force that on them, and we want to say, no, look, I can go through Christmas and I don't have to eat the crazy stuff you guys do, and I don't have to eat as many times as you, or I don't even have to eat at all. I'll fast Christmas Day. We get that kind of badge on our sleeve of toughness, and it's okay though to put that badge away for a day and to sit down with your family and to enjoy the actual holiday, to eat and to be a human being on planet Earth, and know that, hey, listen, I'm going to fast on other sides of this and I'm going to make everything okay. The number one thing, if you get nothing else from this video, the thing that I want to jump through the camera and say to you is simply that it is not an excuse to throw away your lifestyle and then worry about starting back January 1st. January 1st should not be the beginning of your journey. When people that start on January 1st, their rate of failure is so much higher than other people. If you haven't started yet, what in the world are you waiting for? Start your journey, get yourself healthy and back at it. Make it happen. Don't wait for the January 1st. And remember that it's going to be okay. Sometimes also that making it through Christmas without a gain and no loss is okay. If you've been losing for a while and all of a sudden, December comes around and you didn't lose much in December, that's okay. We'll get it back. Don't worry about it. Just stay focused, keep grinding, do what you need to do. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. So I know you see that face. It's right there. Boom. Click on it. Subscribe to me if you haven't done so already. Stay on the channel. Watch a couple more videos. And I can't wait to talk to you guys more as we go forward. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.